Pues por supuesto que ella sabe más que nosotros. Miko, por el amor de Dios, por favor, levanta tus orejitas porque no te vas. O tal vez sí.
Let me guess. You're all tangled up in another situation and need me to unravel it for you.
Exactamente, yo
I hope
no.
you realize how lucky you are. If it was anyone else, I don't think I'd have the patience to keep greeting them with a smile after the first few times.
But you're always smiling.
That was a figure of speech, do you understand? Nitpicking my turns of phrase. The sheer audacity.
Paimon, ve al grano.
Oh, yeah. Something really big's happened. It's she.
Oh, okay, I see. So, A's decided to palm Inazuma off on the humans, while she goes off on her own to fight a fierce battle that doesn't even have an end date. Impossibly stubborn. Jumps straight to the most extreme course of action imaginable, presumes her sheer will can see her through, despite a near impossible goal that requires nothing short of the very peak of her abilities. Yes, that sounds like A all right. You know as well as I do that she's always been like this. Why start fretting about it now?
Esta batalla es más seria que cualquier cosa ocurrida hasta ahora.
Rushed into it without thinking. Well put. Oh, she acts like such a child sometimes. So you seem
Una evolution en mí. Voló un coche con sus poderes electros. No sé.
She's playing dumb. She's doing this on purpose, for sure.
You're learning, little one. But really, the truth of the matter is that I don't know much more about Raiden Makoto's realm of consciousness than you do. All I know is that it's the foundation of the sacred Sakura, and from what I've heard, it's a little different from A's plane of euthymia.
Because Raiden Makoto is no longer alive?
Not just because of that. The nature of the space itself is different in some way. But I can only speculate. You're the ones who have actually been there, so you tell me.
No me fijé.
What was it like?
No noté ninguna diferencia. Pues que estaba prácticamente vacío y era vil agua y nada más.
Anyway, we needn't worry about the details too much. It'll just be a little difficult to explain things later on, that's all. First things first. Follow me to the entrance.
Thank you. Me estoy pasando, espérate. No, me estaba pasando. Ok, sigue bajando, comadre. Vale. Ya como me lanzo sin ver el precipicio, ¿te das cuenta?
Now then, I always have my ways. It's just a question of how crafty I need to be. To the outsider, the realm of consciousness is a very abstract concept. Luckily, I'm A's familiar, so I can sense her rough whereabouts. In other words, even though I can't pinpoint the exact spatial location of this realm, I can still send you to where A is.
Nice.
So, it's abstract, but has a location, but you don't know where it is, but you can still send us there. What?
Yes, no need to try and understand it. Let me put this simply. Right now, she is surrounded by chaos. Everything is turbulent and disordered. If you try to force your way in, you could be swept away by a giant wave that sets you down in an unknown corner of space-time. This is precisely why when entering the plane of euthymia, it's much safer if you place your consciousness in a physical object first.
What? Alright, well, Paimon, stay here then. You two can go in.
Ni lo sueñas, ni siquiera le voy a dar la oportunidad de elegir.
Worst case scenario, all we stand to lose is A. So what's the big deal?
Paimon's had it up to here with both of you. Fine. Paimon's coming.
Mira, nadie te obliga a seguirme a cada lado, Paimon.
Sure, then of course. Now, I shall send you on your way. I say.
¿Qué pasa?
Oh, nothing. It just seems extraordinarily chaotic, that's all. My suspicions have been confirmed. By the way, remember to focus constantly on your heartfelt wishes when you enter inside. Only a strong enough will can prevent you from being swallowed by the giant waves of abstract space. Only if you are strong enough can I deliver you to the right destination.
Entendí.
Well then, the door is open. Hop on in. I'll stay outside and provide what stability I can. I'll be ready to respond if anything happens. I'm placing my god in your capable hands. For my sake and for Inazuma's, please. Bring her back.
Oh, qué hermoso plano.
You better know what you're doing.
No le fallaremos.
That's enough chatter. Get to work.
Espérate, déjame elegir. No me dejó elegir.
Remember to focus constantly on your heartfelt wishes when you enter inside. Only if you are strong enough can I deliver you to the right destination.
Hermosa animación. Ay, Dios. Hola, ¿qué tal? Hemos regresado.
How can this be? You have returned. But how were you able to get back in? And how come you have not changed at all in all these years?
¿En esos años qué?
This is a duel to remember. It is as if we have returned to the moment when the laws of eternity were first established. Your will today is as strong as it was back then. Over countless battles, not once have you lost, and never have you shown the slightest hesitation. Had I made all enemies of eternity stand against you, you still would not have wavered. For your firm commitment to enforcing the rules, you have my admiration too. You bring honor to the title of Guardian of Eternity. Now these two return once more to this space. An inevitability of fate, perhaps. Then, let this be our final duel, the conclusion to that which began 500 years ago. Final duel? So you're finally willing to... Stand back, traveler.
¿Vas a ponerle fin a todo esto?
I'm going to be the start of something new. The time our duels took to fight,
Ay,
long
Shusho.
enough to witness the rise and fall of nations. The energy they consume, great enough to
hell?
vaporize the oceans and turn day into night. And the will they demand.
No, 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 aléjate de mí. Aléjate de mí.
Penetrate minds and crush dreams.
Esto.
I will endure forever. Inferior! Illusion shattered! Ha! Witness the final calamity!
Oh, qué belleza.
There is no escape! Through it, follow my blade!
Espérate. Tiempo, tiempo. Ahora sí.
Eternity is in my hands!
No, no. No, hold on. Hold on. ¿Me está curando? Ah, no, es la comida. A la torre. Hold on, hold on, hold on.
never be eroded nor destroyed. Perish. Illusion shattered.
Cada mano de un golpe sin activas eso. Ok.
Inferior.
Y casi hago el error de no activarlo.
Shine down. Inferior.
Adiós. Uy.
This is the end. You have won. I believed you were incapable of transcending the past. But it seems my belief was baseless, and I underestimated your spirit. But a will that cannot be eroded has no way to embrace the future. You need not worry about the future, and you aren't alone. I know your power more than anyone else. Had I relied upon my strength alone, I would have lost this duel for sure. Yet, my reason for fighting redefined my martial prowess and redrew my limits. I now carry the gaze of the myriad of expectant eyes that look to the light in the heavens. And whenever I think of this, I feel something stirring within Muso Ishin. The blade that I inherited from Makoto seems to be trying to guide me, to encourage me. I noticed it also. Just now in the heat of battle, it seemed to
Muso
unleash a
Ishin.
new and unfamiliar power. This power is beyond the limits of my
O sea que esa espada lo
understanding.
consiguió cuando Makoto
This
murió.
blade belonged to Makoto. Perhaps it can only respond to me with its full power when I truly understand and believe
Ah,
in
por
her.
si se te olvidaba que Makoto era la antigua Shou.
When I clasped Muso Ishin in my hands, I had the feeling that she was by my side once again. It was at once a familiar feeling and a strange one. Makoto barely wielded a blade in her life, and yet her blade brings me closer to her. You have my approval. Your present will is not the product of erosion. I shall no longer stop you from attempting to modify the rules. From this day forth, this body will remain your assistant. I won't design any more rules that can never be changed. You used to represent my past, but from today onward, you are me. Makoto never saw me as a fearless weapon. Likewise, I should not regard you as a mere tool. You truly have changed. I suppose this is what humans call growth. I understand. I shall become your shadow, just as you were
Oh.
once Makoto's shadow. The duties I perform will not change. But as a warrior, I look forward to the chance to fight like this again in the future. Do you say this because you have not yet reconciled yourself with your defeat?
Ay, tú.
It was simply a new experience for me. One that is worth reliving.
Have you finished fighting then? Like, for real this time?
Mente onirica está brillando.
Hello, A. And greetings, those who have come to bear witness.
¡Oh! ¡Makoto!
I am Raiden Makoto, the previous Electro Archon, who failed in my duties and left you all to pick up the pieces. Makoto? I'm so happy. You've come so far. I always knew you would make it here in the end. I left a faint fragment of my will in Muso Ishin, so that in the moment that you unleashed its full power, I too would be released. A convoluted way to reach you, but... well, you held such deeply entrenched views at the time that you wouldn't have listened to a word I said. There was no time to wait for you to have a change of heart. Please forgive me. all I could do was find some way to wait until you came to me. But you never mentioned this to me. Everything happened so suddenly. I'm sorry. I've always felt terrible for having to entrust Inazuma to you all of a sudden. I should have been the one to impart these ideas to you, a little at a time, to dissuade you from your pursuit of stillness. Did you know what was about to happen in Conria? I had some sense of it. That place was not somewhere that any Archon could afford to ignore. In my present form, I can no longer perceive time. I don't know how long we have been separated before this reunion, and I don't know what Inazuma has experienced in the meantime. But I know that this must have been an extremely arduous journey for you. And I'm sure you must have wanted to shed tears many times along the way. Don't look down on me. See? You admitted. It was with this possibility in mind that I left a parting gift for you. Something to soothe Inazuma's pain. Here, take it, before my last shred of consciousness fades away. But it is you who must take the most important step.
Ok. Pero lo que vi como que en ese lado diciendo que tú eres yo y tú vas a ser ahora mi sombra como lo fue y tú vas a ser ahora la nueva rey del Upa.
Turned into a seed?
The miracle tree that blesses the people, in this moment new to the world and yet to be known. When to plant it, where it shall bloom. She who brings it into being must let her heart and dreams decide. Grant it life, eh? Is it really?
Ah, ok, tenemos un nuevo suscriptor en YouTube.
Eternity extends
Gracias,
time
Andre.
into infinity. Dreams illuminate each moment within. When both shine in unison, the sacred Sakura blooms from the darkness, finally free from the clutches of the heavenly principles. Now the nightmare has dissipated, and reality is made whole. The vision we both yearn for is still further ahead. My only regret is that I cannot witness Inazuma's future, nor can I walk this journey with you. Do you know, I am so happy right now, because my final wish has now come true. Your polearm once protected me from countless calamities. For this, I've always felt indebted to you. Though I could never repay you in full, this sacred Sakura will buy you some time until you are ready to awaken and embrace the new. What do you think? Did it do the trick? This time, it really is goodbye, eh?
Ay.
Goodbye, Makoto.
Es muy suave el nombre, ¿no? Makoto. Es como, lo dices y no hay una forma tan fuerte de decir Makoto. Lo dices como que con mucha ternura. Es bonito el nombre.
In the realm of consciousness, and it took root in the Inazuma of the past. No matter what you make of it, it's quite
Ah. Claro, porque está en un plano entre el
Makoto's power.
tiempo y espacio.
Her understanding of eternity is much more profound.
Por eso dijo, de repente apareció. Específicamente sí, pero por ella. Y en algún futuro. Para que llegara en el pasado. Qué curioso.
The concept of time becomes murky.
Ese lugar ocurrían cosas increíbles. El tiempo avanzaba y retrocedía al mismo
A
tiempo.
place where time is meaningless and cannot be understood with ordinary logic. So that was the turbulence I was sensing. Perhaps that is the reason why you were able to return precisely to this point in time without any problems. And yet, that sense of disorderliness has now completely disappeared.
I don't fully understand yet. But my intuition tells me that the reason for everything, it's that seed.
Well, I'm not convinced that it was Makoto's power alone.
Sí, no. ¿Por qué se mutió esa parte? Poder superior Astaroth.
Without the sacred Sakura, Inazuma would
Hold on,
likely
no
have
es la
been
primera vez que
completely
escuchamos Astaroth, ¿o sí?
swallowed up centuries ago by that disaster and the filth.
I know you've always perceived there was something special about the sacred Sakura, but to me, it has always been there. You've tried in the past to prove to me that there's a connection between the sacred Sakura and Makoto's consciousness. But unfortunately, you never did persuade me, did you?
No, but I understand why now. It was because the sacred Sakura hadn't even been planted then.
But don't you think that tree looked a lot different than how it does now?
O sea, sí, pues
The
creció.
sacred Sakura is within my purview at the shrine, so obviously I get to prune it exactly how I like it.
Ah, tremenda.
Now we see who's pulling the strings.
I'm joking. That tree has been through a lot since it first sprouted. We have the loving care of Kitsune over the ages to thank for how it appears today.
Ah, vale.
And obviously I played my part too. It's fair to say that very little time passed between the moment you came out of that realm and the moment you re-entered it. But in that same time, centuries of battling took place on the inside, did it not? Traveler, if I'm guessing correctly, you were repeating your wishes to yourself in your mind, weren't you? At
Supuesto.
that time, I could sense A's whereabouts, but I also sensed anomalies in the flow of time within that space. Suffice to say, time added a whole new dimension to our search. Simply establishing a location was not sufficient. Fortunately, your will was strong enough that the turbulence carried you to the moment in time most likely to be the intersection of all that you were wishing for. The flow of turbulence may well have been influenced by Makoto, but it took everyone's efforts combined to ultimately help A. So this time, it looks like thanks are due to you.
Does that mean it wasn't by chance that we ended up at the final duel? We were always meant to be there to witness what was going to happen?
Quizás su querida se la llevó con Conejos del
I
Destino.
thought that the flow of time was the same on the inside and the outside. So it was a great shock to me when the traveler reappeared. My
Sí,
first
porque ahí
thought
sintió que
was,
eran años que habían pasado.
has a great disaster befallen Inazuma? But it turned out you had come to rescue me. You came for my sake, to help me reach the best possible outcome. You too have my thanks. You have done much for me, and I will never forget it.
A, how are you feeling now?
My body has fully recovered, and the Shogun's will no longer fights against me.
Always thrilled to hear you're in good health. But I was really asking about your emotions. Have you managed to calm down? After all, you saw Makoto in there, didn't you?
I
No
only heard her
exactamente,
voice.
exacto.
I wouldn't say I saw her. I'll be fine. It brought a few things back, of course, but I've made my decision to move forward. I have to say, this has reminded me once again just how brilliant Makoto was. She predicted all the ways in which Inazuma's future could unfold, all the way back then. She even factored my immaturity into her plan. It's all thanks to her that Inazuma lived to see this day.
Y tú también has tenido un papel muy importante
I
en todo
just
esto.
planted a seed.
Tanto tu determinación como la suya fueron indispensables.
It was thanks to everything you did that you got to see her again. That's amazing.
Este último paso fue fruto de un gran esfuerzo conjunto. A pesar de todo,
Thank
jugaste
you.
un buen papel.
Today, at long last, you and Inazuma finally emerge from the shadows cast by the events of centuries past. Makoto and you are Inazuma's past and future, and both are indispensable.
It's rare to hear such comforting words from you. I graciously accept them.
Oh, come on. You only think it's rare because you never used to listen to a word I say.
Makoto said the exact same thing.
Great minds think alike, hmm? I wonder, does that qualify me to, maybe, take the position of shogun for a couple of days?
Está
Actually,
tremenda.
no. Forget
Está
that.
ya.
Far more trouble than it's worth.
Como
We
la
will
ve
have
como
to end
esta.
the frivolities there. There is much work to be done. The Shogun and I will closely review the Inazuma of today to find out where things currently stand. Then, we will give careful consideration to the future. After that, I will abolish the Sakoku decree.
Really? That's huge
Y por
news.
esa razón era necesario tomar esta misión antes, porque de qué otra manera sabíanse que, o sea, Ito y iban a pasar a...
I don't doubt that many challenges lie ahead for Inazuma.
Que recordemos que todavía no podían salir, pero después también hacen nuevas
I'm looking
oportunidades.
forward to it.
Bien. Parte extra de lore, pues ya ves que fue la guerra para ascender como arconte, conocida como la guerra de los arcontes, pues ahí se sacrificó para que Makoto ascendiera como arconte, porque solo uno podía ser arconte, así que ella se sacrificó por su hermana. Y ya tiempo después de que ascendiera Makoto, Makoto revivió a Ei, por algo pudieron estar las dos vivas. ¡Ah! ¿A Chihuahuas cómo la revivió? Eso está medio raro, ¿no? Medio curioso.
Many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma, but I am prepared for them. Abolishing the Sakoku decree has a myriad of implications. It would be folly to say that it will be all positive, and there will be no negative repercussions. For example, I can foresee the outside world posing a threat to Inazuma's businesses. These are the issues that I must work to solve.
Hey, you're thinking about this all so conscientiously. I've only got as far as wondering whether I'll be able to sell entrance tickets to the Grand Narukami Shrine in the
Esta
future.
doña.
Honestly, Miko. Many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma. Makoto's gaze was
Pensé
always
que tal vez
fixed
con
on
la
the people
gnosis.
of Inazuma.
Ah.
I always assumed it was because
Pero la hipnosis, o sea,
that
como
was her
dicen
duty.
ellos, la hipnosis es solo una
Now,
conexión
I
al
see that hers was a gaze
plano de
full
los
of
dioses,
delight
¿no?
and hope.
Entonces, es como, what?
It was not
¿Tiene más
just a
poder
duty,
entonces la hipnosis?
but a joy too.
Y está más como una llave,
She
¿no? Más bien,
loved humanity very
para abrir
deeply.
las puertas
If
a
the people of the
Celestia.
past deserve the god's attention, then so do the people of the future.
Indeed. No longer will I ignore their passions and dreams. Many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma. To put it bluntly, it was constant torture, with no end in sight. Faced with an endless battle, I had to remain focused at all times. Had my concentration lapsed for but a moment, the Shogun's blade would have taken my life. Safe to say, were it not for my previous experiences in combat, my skills would not have been up to the challenge. I would most certainly have been defeated. And through it all, you also had your part to play. Many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma.
¿Ellos causados
Don't
al ser
worry,
eso?
I haven't
Bueno, ya
forgotten.
sabíamos de que la comisión Tenryu
I
se iba a
will be
encargar
sure
de
to
eso.
remind the Tenryo and Yashiro commissions
Bueno, las
of their
dos
duties in
comisiones.
this regard. It's not only the monsters that I am worried about. I'm concerned about what else might escape from the sacred Sakura.
Claro, porque
That's a
recordemos
tough one,
que el
alright.
cerezo mantiene sellado
There's
bastantes
plenty more
males que
besides memories held
fueron
in the
complicados de
ley
derrotar
lines.
y solo se pudieron sellar.
Since you clearly understand, perhaps you could think about making an effort too. Challenges still
La
lie
dijo
ahead for
floja.
Inazuma, but I am prepared for them.
Ya Miko dijo que me confiaba su dios. Ah,
Yaimiko said nothing of the sort.
Apoya.
And the traveler has some nerve making up spurious claims about her while she is still present. Some words are not to be passed on. Trust me, you don't want to know the cost of betraying me. Just think of the things I said to you as our little secret. Understood?
What are you talking about?
De nada.
Nothing. Ooh, I suddenly want some fried tofu.
Casual.
Many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma.
No tengo más preguntas.